All right, let's try this again. I just did a whole video on this for you, and for some reason the volume wasn't working or the microphone wasn't working, so you couldn't hear anything. I am going to quickly go over personal volume, team volume, and where to see it in your Coach Online office and where it comes from. So you just go to teambeachbody.com, log into your coach account, and then go to Coach Online Office. This box here, this My Volume box, is going to show you everything that you need to know for your volume for the week. Now this does go Thursday through Wednesday, like our pay weeks. So since today is Wednesday, tomorrow morning, this all goes back to zero. And this is how you earn your residual income. This team volume is where you cycle, and this PV is where you make your customer commissions. So team volume is anything that your coaches purchase or anyone under your coaches purchase. So this includes anyone in your downline. PV is personal volume. So that's anything that you yourself purchase or your customers purchase. And that is where, like I said, you'll make your commissions off of the PV, off of what your customers purchase, and you'll make your cycle bonuses off this TV, off the team volume. Now, there is a difference between the 50 PV that you need to stay active versus what you need to qualify for Success Club. You do need the 90 PV on Home Direct to qualify for Success Club, and that can be with Shakeology or any of the performance line or the Shakeology boosts. Those all are able to be on Home Direct. So as long as you have 90 PV a month, you are good to go with Success Club. To stay active, you need at least 50 PV in a 5-week period. And that can be found. I had a question on how do I know if I've had that 50. If you go to this volume details, this total PV will give you your PV totals for every week. Now, this is what's going to process tonight because today is the 4th. So that negative 15 that was back here, if we go back, maybe, this negative 15, someone must have purchased their Beachbody Club membership and then returned it. So that's why it's negative. That's from a return. That is going to process and go to this line. So this will be then week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. And then this week will drop off. So that's where you can tell. You can go back through those 5 weeks, and here you see that this 90, and every week and it falls off. So tonight, this 15 will drop off, and then negative 15 will process. So it's always those top 5 weeks. And that's how you can tell for your active status. And I had another question on where those numbers come from. They said, I understand the team volume and the personal volume, but where do those numbers come from? If you look, whenever you purchase anything or whenever a customer purchases, it tells you your PV right here. So everything has a PV amount. And that also shows you, like, if, say you do need to buy something to keep your 50 PV so that you're active, this is what I do for Jason's account. I will just go and I'll find some things that are going to make the 50 PV, and I'll buy things like supplements or the performance line that we need. Sometimes I'll buy a 3-day refresh. And now notice some things do have 0 PV. That's not where I wanted to go. But I will just find things that have at least the 50 PV just to keep him active, because I don't buy the Shakeology under him every week just because we don't need the 2 bags a week. So that's where those numbers come from. Oops, what is going on? What is going on? And then when someone purchases, they just, okay, let's just do this way. My computer is very slow. Okay, so we'll go back to volume details, and this will show things that were canceled and where the volume came from. So you can always go in and see exactly where the volume came from. If somebody had a return, so you can see who returned something and all that. So that's kind of the basic gist on PV and TV. We can do a team call on this where we can Zoom and I can go over it more if you have questions, but that's kind of the basics of it. It's all right here in this little box, and it does update every week so that you can track it. I hope that was helpful, and if you have any questions,